Yo, what's up everyone? This is your man DJ Kane for Cabron Dynamics, and we're here at Aegis Auto Detailing, and today we're going to show you how we're going to convert an R34 Skyline into an R34 Skyline GTR with the bodies that were provided by Drift Mob. I'd like to thank Drift Mob for providing us the great body kits for the conversion. So we're going to show you how it's done step by step and how to do it. If you want to do it at home or you want to do it yourself, you know, a couple of equipment is required to put on the body kits. But from that, pretty much we're hoping that this can help you guys, and this can assist you guys in building your own home build right here. Stay tuned. So the first phase of what we're doing currently now is we are actually riveting the body kits. Usually when you come and get a body kit for the R34, it comes actually based on the R34 two-door Skyline. So you're going to have to do a couple of adjustments and cutting the body so that it actually fits. And then you'd probably need, we encourage you guys to rivet the body kit on the side fenders. Just so when you actually put the putty and the fillers, it actually does not have the tendency to crack in case of a bump or, you know, an accident. So currently the new fiberglass body kits that come with it usually are actually flexible compared to the old fiberglass kits. So they actually flex and they don't crack, which is awesome actually. So before you actually add any plaster or paint, basically we highly encourage you to rivet the body kits on the fenders first, and then we'll show you how we'll keep it clean and then shave down the rivets so that it's aligned with the body kits step by step. So this is actually step 2 after we put the rivets. As you see, we stuck the rivets, and currently we are now putting marine epoxy, as you can see. And the purpose to put the marine epoxy is basically to fill in the gaps and make sure that the body kit is actually secured, as you can see. And after we smoothed this out, then we'll sand this down and then put the putty plaster after and the filler so you can actually see. Now we encourage you guys to actually put rivets on the body kits so that it doesn't loosen, because many traditional ways of putting body kits is just putting the plaster and the adhesive, which in weathers that are very hot and the climates are very hot, a lot of times these can crack and it can actually disalign the body kits, right? So we put rivets to make sure that it's permanently installed in the fender. So some of the equipment you're going to use or materials you need to use when putting the body kit are definitely marine epoxy, and then you need basically the rivet tool, okay, or the hand rivet machine, and well, we have basically our cutter that we use to cut the body kits, and then of course a drill to make sure that you can drill in the holes for the rivets. Yeah, so we'll show you step by step, as we promised, on how we're working on the body kit and how it's going to look right after. So we're showing you step 2 on what to do right after we've put the rivets. So as you can see right here, we've put marine epoxy, okay, and we encourage you to use marine epoxy before you put the putty and the plaster. That's so that the marine epoxy keeps it firm, and later on, if you are in a country where the weather is hot or very humid, it prevents any cracks in between the body kits, right? So as you can see, we've poured the marine epoxy, and the next step after we've covered the rivets with the marine epoxy is the plastering. We're gonna sand this down a bit. In fact, we're gonna use basically a sanding disc, sand it down, and after we sand this down pretty much, this is going to smoothen out, and then we're going to put the plaster on it, and then from there we're going to smoothen the plaster and then move up to the next steps of molding it right before we put the primer and paint, right? So just stay tuned so that we'll take it step by step and document it right here for everybody, just so that you can see how you can do this at home, or if you're in a shop, auto shop, how you can actually install the body kits. Stay tuned. So we're beginning the grinding process. So we're smoothing up all the epoxy before we put the putty. So you gotta grind it down real smooth until it actually ends up this way. And as you can see, it's almost the same level as that of the original fender, and it's really smooth. So then we can put the putty right after. So John's here, and he's the man behind the whole Skyline project, and as you'd see, he's already put the plaster filling, and basically we're just going to follow the same process as what we did with the marine epoxy. Is we're going to basically, you see the rough edges, of course, we're going to sand that down and turn it smooth and when it's dry. So we're just waiting for it to dry, and then we're going to sand that down, and then it's going to look pretty smooth, and then from there that would go to the next step of painting primer once the preparation is done. So we'll show you what comes up next in the next few steps after this is done. We'll show you how it's going to look with the primer on and with the paint next. Stay tuned. So here we are with the final step of the sanding, and if you noticed, it's sanded pretty smoothly now. We still have a couple of sand downs we have to do, and just thickening in the plaster and then shaping it. So we encourage you, when you do this step, to use 120 grit of sandpaper for the roughness, so that it comes out with a nice smooth finish. And we'll show you how it looks once the final sanding is done. So the next step, basically, as you can see, is we've taken out all the parts of the R34 to make sure that when we paint it, we've actually sanded it down already. So if you see, we've sanded it down, getting ready to paint over with primer before we put the final touches of the paint. We're gonna repaint this to a different shade of white, which is basically known as Saphiro White, Nissan Saphiro White, which is actually a Nissan base color or a factory freshed out color. And if you can see, actually, we've already put the body kits and put the putty and the primer here, so it's actually ended up really very beautifully, and we kind of put it under the sun so it dries really well. Yeah, so you'll see the edges, and it already has pretty much the GTR look for the quarter panel. So there you go, you see the curves now. So we pretty much stripped out every detail, so when we paint, we don't usually miss out on any of the knobs or any corners. Here's one look which has been sanded down. This would be the first quarter panel that we're going to be painting on and applying the primer to. And it kind of looks sad at the moment, but we assure you once this is done, this is going to be a beauty. So just keep staying tuned as we bring you the best of Aegis restoration. So we're moving to the next steps, and as you see, we're painting the R34 now with Saphira white. And this is actually the first layer, and we usually coat the car with 3 layers of paint just to give it the nice look and the nice finish. The problem with many of the factory made cars and the factory painted cars are when you get the cars brand new, we usually have a device that measures the thickness of the paint, and there are some manufacturers that pretty much skimp on the paint, wherein they have only 2 layers of paint rather than 3. And we advise when you paint your car to always have 3 layers of paint rather than 2, just to give it the thickness and as well as the coat, the protective coat. So we're working on that, and we painted as well the vent separately, and that's one reason why we took everything out, so we get to paint the whole car itself, even the small hinges and the small latches, as you can see. So we're doing the running board. So you just got to make sure that you know, your mags and the wheels are well covered, as well as the windshield. Just make sure that you don't skip any pieces, so you don't paint over any of the rubber gaskets or the windshield's rubber gaskets, as well as the window gaskets. So we'll show you the rest in just a bit. After this is painted, we'll show you the next step, which would definitely be how we're going to sand it down to smoothen off the paint, and then pretty much buff the car to how it's going to have its last and final look and touch. So stay tuned. So we are here showing you the finished Skyline R34 4-door that we converted with the GTR body kits. So it's looking really sweet. So this has been buffed to its final touch and final glory. Now we're gonna wait 2 months until the paint actually just dries properly before we actually apply our diamond coating, just to make sure that the paint gets protected. We're gonna coat diamond coat on it. So John again is working on fixing the pillars and making sure it's buffed properly. So we're just working on the final details. But as you see, the shine has come out. The paint actually moved beautifully, and then the body kits have actually come in really beautifully. I'm very happy with the work that we've done for this. Basically, so it looks really clean, and the white is just beautiful. I think it's just a nice shade of white as well. Brings out the lines of the car, and it just shows you, you know, how clean and how neatly it was done. So, you know, kudos again to everybody here at Aegis, especially John and team, you know, who worked out a fantastic job on this. So we're gonna show you more from the best of Aegis detailing. So keep tuned and check out more of our videos. So guys, thanks for watching again. This is DJ Kane for Cabron Dynamics, and you got my boy John right here from Aegis Auto Detailing, and we are the best actually when it comes to auto detailing and customization. So if you guys want to check us out, please check out our website, www.aegisautodetailing.ph, and we're more than happy to cater to any inquiries or questions you may have. So check out more of our videos. We're going to show you more videos of the cars that we do, and keep it tuned. Peace out.